Why? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Did you have like a
well, so first of all, second of all, I was go find the right screw day, but I locked myself out of my own house.
I thought you were going to say that you were behind someone who had these roads are terrible starter kit.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, 4 bald tires and no clue. Yeah. But no, so I go out. I have all this stuff in my hands, and as I'm walking out, I'm like, I usually just lock the deadbolt with my keys.
Yeah.
But today I was like, I'll just lock the doorknob.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn the thing, I walk out, close the door, get up to the car, set all the stuff down, reach in my pockets.
Son of a.
No keys. So I'm like, well, I don't know that the screen door is open. Sliding glass door. I know it's not. So I had to break into my own house. And then I'm like,
did you do it or just get one of the neighborhood kids to do it?
Well, so I did it. And then I thought, because there's snow on the ground, I had to go. So I can get into the garage.
Mm-hmm.
I really should just have a spare key somewhere.
You should. I do, because that happens to me more often than I care to admit.
However long, but I was like, I might have locked that window last time I closed it. And luckily, but I had to get in the garage and get a step stool.
And
then I had to trudge through the snow.
Yeah.
So basically I showed everybody how to break into my house.
How to bust into your house.
Yeah, because I still didn't lock the window. Just in case.
Just, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I'd have been screwed. I'd had to call a locksmith or break something
to
get in.
Everybody
jimmied the lock because I got cheap locks.
You could have jimmied the lock. So, hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. And if you were wondering what to get Chris for his birthday, which was Tuesday, one of those little like rocks that you can like hide a key in.
Yeah.
Or what I have is one of those like a realtor boxes with the the little thing. I have that. So that's a good thing maybe to have. I don't
always
know.
Get into my garage with the code.
Yeah, there you go. You could.
So I could just have a key in there.
Maybe but
I don't have spare keys.
I'm trying to get you some birthday crap.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, birthday stuff for Chris.
Ooh, get me one of those. Give me one of those cans with the fake bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
In my fridge.
I actually got one of those
in the house.
I got one of those and I opened it and I'm like, oh, this is one of those. Yeah, so. Duh.
Well,
stupid.
It just looks like you have an open Mountain Dew in your.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps those.
So we have got a lot of great stuff to talk to you guys about. But Chris, how does it feel to be officially a year older than me?
Officially, it feels really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
The second half of 52.
but
downer.
But 53, super 53. Cool.
Yeah, so far so good.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
You look great, and it is a joy to have you here in the shop now that you're older.
I don't even know what 53 is supposed to look like.
I mean,
maybe
I don't know.
I mean, I look at like celebrities; they all look way better than me. But then I think it's their job to look better than me.
Hey,
if it was my job to look better than me,
I'll have
I
you
could
know
do it.
That you look way better than Vic Tayback did when he turned 50 on Alice.
Tayback on Dallas, yes, I often think of things like that. Not that, but
was it Vic Tayback? Was the guy? Was Mel? Yeah.
Mel,
okay.
Yeah. He looked like that when he was like
13.
Yeah, because he was in some movies.
Yeah, he was.
And he looked.
He was in that episode of Star Trek where they went back to the planet where they had they left the gangsters of the 20s book, and he was a gangster. Anyway.
Yeah.
So hey guys, it is Thursday. It is time to have a cold beer and some good laughs. And it's time to take a super chat from our buddy Brian Duncan, who says, "Happy birthday, Chris. You don't look a day over 60. Come on, Brian. Don't make me read that stuff." Yeah. So anyhow, we've got some good stuff to talk about tonight, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to begin, but I was talking with Doug Santaniello over on Flipside Music, the great American guitar store's first hour of primetime guitar. And he was saying, are you guys busy? Or I said, we're crazy busy getting all these guitars done and getting them put together. And there are racks and racks and racks and racks of guitars that are like ready for final. Well, like I'm doing fret leveling and nuts, and you're doing electronics and strings and bridges and stuff. And it's just, they're just plopping together left and right. You've got like, I don't even know how big our reveal is tomorrow going to be, but it's going to be massive.
Maybe. Yeah. If you choose for it to be massive.
Brad Hutchings says you don't look a day over 52 and gave you $6.01.
Thank you, Brad.
So yeah, so that's cool. Well,
you know, the camera adds 15 years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't really have gray hair in real life.
What do you so what do you want to tell everybody about what's been happening?
Well, we're just whipping and spurring, getting almost finished guitars finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're working on Challenger Deluxes, Challenger X's. We got some custom things that we're doing.
Yep.
Some other Challengers. Yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff. And every once in a while, it's like, yeah, this is going really good. And then another one pops up. Oh, yeah. Let's work on that one. Okay. And then we work on that one. So
we have, we've got a bunch of new products coming into. We got the UV light on the way from UV3. Thanks to everybody who kicked in to help us get the new UV light. Doug helped us out a bunch, and we sold some guitars, and we just had a good time. And well, we ordered the new UV light. It wasn't that good of a time, but yeah.
Ate some pizza, learned about history.
And you did a really cool paint job this week, and we filmed it for YouTube. That's going to be
you got to say more than just I did a really cool paint.
I know, but yeah, but we filmed it for YouTube, and you want to let's tell everybody about that, our Sunday video.
Sure. So
but before we do that, Doug sent us 1999 and said, we would have guessed 49. Have a drink on me. Well, there you go.
Well, thanks, Doug.
Okay.
Have your eyes checked before next class.
Have your eyes checked.
Yeah, so we did a follow-up to the Spin Right Paint Twist. Paint Right Spin Twist.
Spin Twist, Spray Right, Paint Rig.
Paint Rig. Oh man, there's 3. Yeah, so we did an actual demo of it this time, not just 2 jamokes unboxing it.
Yeah.
And assembling it wrong.
What was your thought on the Spin Twist Spray Right Paint Rig?
I shouldn't spoil it.
Well, okay, but
it's rad. It's really cool. I dug it.
So when I was telling you about it, you're like, yeah, that sounds neat. And when we got it, and you're like, oh, I kind of see this. And when you used it, you're like, oh man,
yeah, because it's one thing for a guy to say, hey man, I made this. It's really cool. It's just like the dude at Fender, forgot his name again. Joel Lopez. His thing, that's really neat. And it's another thing to actually do that and make something that actually works and is really solid and good. Yeah. And it's really, really neat. And it's in a lot of ways, I want to use the word game changer. It's not really a game changer, but it does make things easier. And it was funny because it sort of changed up my my approach to some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I could be way lazier.
It was funnier. Well, it was funnier. It was funny because sometimes you'd wander around the thing, and then other times you'd spin it like the guy from the Fender Custom Shop does.
It'll take a while for me to get used to just shooting straight at the wall. Yeah. Versus going around, because I do so much. Okay. And then, so.
It was neat to watch, and the burst is really great, and the video is coming Sunday. So thank you. J Van B says, Chris, the hat takes off at least. Speaking of game changers, the hat is a game changer.
Yeah, I've worn this hat before.
I like that hat. I think it's cool.
I'm going to have to be a hat guy at some point in my life.
I think there are worse things than being a hat guy. Yeah. So, guys, before we jump into the topic today, something really neat happened to me. And I have a favor to ask you guys. And that is that if anybody watching has something in their Stuart McDonald shopping cart, I want you to buy it. But what I want you to do is go to the description below and click on the thing that says Stuart McDonald, whatever it says, affiliate program. And if you click that link, that will take you to our affiliate link for Stuart McDonald. So anything you buy from Stuart McDonald, we get a little taste of.
So what does that mean?
That means that Stuart McDonald finally heard me saying that if Stumac, or if you're listening, I will shill for you for so fast it'll make your head spin.
Mhm.
In fact, you were there today, and what did I say? What did I say to the people from Stumac in terms of speed?
Well,
For the
I think you played it totally cool, suck up, and and it was. I mean, they didn't really know. Does he want to be involved with this, or does he not want to be involved with this? Suck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I asked the lady Allie at Stumac. She said we'll get you an affiliate link, and I said, how fast can you do it? What do you mean? I'm like, because we're going live tonight. And I want to tell everybody.
How fast do you want it?
Yeah, I said I want
it.
I want it today, right now.
Yeah.
So
I want to be. Yeah.
So it has taken a long time, but the people from Stuart McDonald reached out to me and said, hey, it's really cool that you do this. We would like to make you I don't know, an influencer or something. That was their words, not mine.
Said, congratulations, you're now an influencer.
Yeah.
And I thought Matt's going to have to get a little dog in a purse.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, I'll have to bring it.
Yeah.
I have it already. Yeah.
Well, and the other cool thing was who was the guy you were talking to?
Brock.
Yeah. He said that he's been watching a bunch of the videos lately, and that he's actually kind of binged a bunch, and he shows them to everybody else and all this other stuff. And that's cool, because it's one thing to stumble onto one of our videos. Yeah. It's another thing to actually watch several of them. Especially in industry kind of a guy. Yeah. So that's really cool.
So anyway, so thank you to our brand newest sponsor of the show, and that's Stuart McDonald. How cool is that? So anyway, what are you drinking there, Chris?
This is
Netroths. I'm not 100% sure you can show that off. So really tell them what you have there. And Doc wants to know, how are we going to adapt the straighten up and fly right paint rig for use with set neck guitars? Doc, we haven't figured that one out yet.
We haven't. I've thought about it, and I'm looking at it. Yeah.
So
those may still have to just be on the old rig.
Okay.
At least for now.
What do you have? What you want to talk about? Not because it's Stumac, but because it's a different product than we normally use.
Nitrocellulose lacquer.
Nitro.
Thursday Nitro. They use the nitro.
Yeah.
They go really fast for 5 or 6 laps.
And they do.
And then they blow all the hell.
So
so we're gonna play around with some of this stuff for some future class ideas.
We've got some new stuff.
And maybe for the $400 guitar challenge.
Maybe. Okay. So thanks you guys for chiming in on the Stumac thing. It's kind of a big deal for me. Not I've been using Stumac stuff for many years, and and thank you to all of our sponsors, Flipside Music and Bitterroot Guitars and Tonewood Experts and Odyssey Beer Works and Dylan Pickups and Maximum Guitar Works and everybody who has helped us out. But it's neat to get one from Stumac too. That's a very cool thing.
And it's not just about getting a little taste of stuff that people buy. It's because there's talk of doing things with them.
Yep.
Partnership kind of, whether it's class related or videos or whatever. Yeah, that'll all be really cool. There's talk they're going to send us some prototype stuff. And things like that. So
yeah. So as far as the questions go on the what will Stumac do as far as shipping, I think so. I think if you just go to the Stumac.com through our link and then log in, that's kind of how that goes. So yeah.
The shipping.
How if you're a member, you get free shipping.
Oh yeah. I think I think all of that stuff just sort of self-propagates itself.
Yeah. So thank you for
click on the link, and you'll still get your free shipping and all that. Which is, I think, if you buy more than one thing a year from them, it's probably worth the deal.
Yep.
One order.
So there's lots of things coming in. Doc says, can't think of a better time. I had a huge order to place tomorrow. Ooh, right on. Van Shank Guitar says he'll check Stumac and see what he needs. Thank you, sir. I'd kind of like to see, if we can get like a something happening to where they're like, oh yeah, this guy isn't, total blowhard. I mean, they know I am, but
They've seen the video.
They've seen the video.
They know what they're getting into. We actually talked about that afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to clean up our act.
Are we gonna have to clean up our act? Yeah. We probably can't say, well, blowhole. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can say words that sound dirty but aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poppycock.
Grass. Pocker.
Muckluck. Macadamia.
Fork
anyway,
in the road.
And Brian Duncan is absolutely right. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. Stumac is running a 10% off sale right now, so that's a cool thing. And guys, I don't know how it all works, but yeah. Stop the insanity already. Okay, I don't know what's happening here, but okay. So let's move on, Chris, to our topic for tonight. And do you need to?
I wanted to see what that one said.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure
this
what.
Is pretty much par for the course.
Yeah.
If that's the point.
Yeah. A thin nitro has to be the finish for your $40,000 Strat build event. Yeah, absolutely.
$40,000.
As soon as we do that, yeah.
In today's economy, might as well be.
May as well.
In a world where eggs are $6.
In a world where eggs are $6. You know who that guy? You know who that guy was? You know what that guy's name was?
No.
Rob de La Fontaine.
Okay.
It really was. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, who would do? Rob de La Fontaine would do an excellent, like a dessert commercial or like a Starbucks commercial, where you describe the treat that you're about to get, because it's all audio. There's no visual. If it's on the radio, say for example, he would be good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because we were looking up. We were having lunch, and you said, "Hey, check it out! It's the new Tommy Thayer whatever guitar from some
Thayer
company."
Epiphone Les Paul.
Okay.
Epiphone Tommy Thayer Les Paul, and it was on Zounds.
Okay.
The website Zounds, and I clicked on it and I was looking at it, and they have this. They make it real easy.
Yeah.
They have a section, and it has features and what it does.
Okay.
What that means.
What the feature gives you. Okay.
Yeah. So
the maple top does
mahogany body, maple top.
Okay.
And
what does that get you?
What's clear, clean highs,
warm, creamy center.
Warm, creamy, rich, creamy, whatever.
Yeah, and so I'm
mahogany
like,
neck.
Yeah,
strong,
smooth overtones with cascading velvety chocolate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we talking about dessert or are we talking about guitar here?
I started getting hungry now. Just had a sandwich.
Yeah.
And so then I just started clicking on all these links and reading all these descriptions of guitars.
So what we want to do, guys, is we want to tell you about all the words that you use to describe guitars. And when you guys come up with one, let us know too. And put like a bunch of the question marks or something and let us know what you think would be a good descriptor for a dessert topping or a musical instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Chris, if I said I'm looking for something that has a that's smooth and creamy with a woody finish, would you think I'm trying to buy a dessert or a guitar?
I would think a dessert with some sort of whiskey flavor.
Okay. No, that's not what I'd be looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
What if I said I wanted something warm and chocolatey with a
snappy
with a snappy attack.
Snappy attack.
Yeah.
Once again, I would think some sort of dessert.
You are right. Yeah, that's what I would absolutely be buying. So yeah.
So I identify with Woody, Spanky, and Snappy.
That's Snappy.
Two of those were characters in the Little Rascals.
So we were thinking about all the various R Gang characters, and would you wouldn't want to have a guitar that had a stymie tone?
A stymie tone? Yeah.
No.
It needs more stymie.
Although you know what I look for in a guitar tone? I like this guitar, but I mean it's snappy and it's spanky, but it's just not porky enough. I could use a little more pork. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you guys have any good words There were some really excellent ones. I thought they were really terrific.
Oh man. Yeah. My favorite thing is
Ooh, Slinky is a good one. So
Slinky.
Mike and Rick said Slinky. Greg said Sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
There's still some wooden bobbined, smooth and round, clean and
round.
transparent.
There you go. Transparent woodiness.
I'm looking for a transparent woodiness with a hint of pork. And
Porky.
like a beefy. I know that you could probably say that.
You could use beefy.
I want like a real beefy sound out of my amp,
beefy,
but
transparent, clean tone.
Yes.
This is one of those things where you have all those words and you just throw darts at
We
it.
need one of those analog calculators where you like spin the wheel of tone words.
Yeah. And they get funnier and funnier the deeper you go.
It's a creamy beefiness with a smooth overtone of woody, with a hint of woody overtone.
Woody undertones.
Oh my God.
Overtones.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my favorite.
Oh wait,
things.
There's crunchy and yeah. Oh, Steve said moist, which I actually tried to use, and you said, "Are you sure you want to go there?"
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I absolutely
really
do.
The moist tone. I mean, Pure Juice pickups have the moist.
Pure Juice pickups do have the moist tone.
Do. So it's a fact.
It is a fact.
It is a fact. Just like, yeah. Yeah. Well, because the fact is, I'm a medical doctor, so I've done hundreds of autopsies, and I've seen hundreds of autopsies, and I've seen some crazy shit come out of the human body.
I know it.
See if that sticks.
I don't see why it won't. Lemony, moist and creamy with some slide. I really want my purple Challenger to sound sparkly. Well, J-Van, I guarantee you that it's going to be sparkly and shimmery with kind of a sprinkle of a hint of creamy smoothness.
Yeah.
But round,
metallic,
and angular at the same time.
Yeah. If you listen with your eyes, it will be all these things.
It will be metallic with a round woodiness.
Yeah.
It'll have
a dark sound because the back's black.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be dark, and it'll have a splash of moistness with a juicy hint of creaminess.
Juicy center.
It's the gum with the peanut center.
Yeah, it's the only gum with a peanut center, right?
You look like the guy who would be selling gum with the peanuts.
Yeah. Well, have you tried it?
Gum with the peanut center. Oh, who in the world would want that? Oh my!
What is that?
God.
Well, it's a nut, right?
Right.
It's a peanut.
Oh my word! Salty pork gravy is what Rotbox says. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hickory smoked with a hint of chewy.
Oh, chewy. I think I've heard
fattiest
chewy.
Good. Yeah, I think there's a chewy.
I've heard chewy.
What, like a fat tone with a round moistness?
Yeah, you got to really. It's chewy.
You got to juice it to get that pork out of there, but you'll get it if you. Yeah. Hey, let's take a super chat from Corey, who says, "It's been a while, but I made it back. Thanks for coming back, Corey. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy birthday, Chris. And anything else I missed in your lives? Are you describing guitars or writing reviews for porn videos?" No, I know it sounds, that's another one. Yeah.
There's all different words for that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm playing a gig at the Peanut Center this weekend. Brad Hutchings says, the chewy crunchiness, nutty and salty. The guys, salty. There are, I think salty could be a tone. Yeah.
Nutty,
spicy, kind of a salty, spicy tone with a moist creaminess as well.
You just keep using moist, don't you?
Okay.
Creamy.
Dan says you gotta juice it to get the pork. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. Oh my goodness, you guys. K Sharp 10 wants to know any reveals. Well, absolutely. There'll be some reveals tomorrow during our Friday reveal.
Yep.
And do you have any ideas about what you want to reveal, Chris?
Let's reveal it all. Everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of guitars that are done. So.
All right.
We'll show off a bunch of guitars that are done.
Okay. Twang is the thing. Thoughts on the Jericho fiasco? Fat Philosopher was. I don't know anything about that.
The Jericho. Fiasco.
This lacks perspective. Can you give me some?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Is Jericho a brand of guitar?
I don't know. Maybe he'll let us know.
Okay.
Oh,
I think I might know something about this.
okay. What do you think?
I believe that Jericho is a brand of guitar, and Gibson shut them down completely.
Oh, I think I did hear something about that. Or they
took over their. I read a blip, and that was it.
okay?
I saw a thing on YouTube, and apparently, commandeered their website and their email and their. I don't know that you can do any of this, and then any of that's legal. So I don't know. So I have no comment. But if it's true, shame on Gibson.
So
no matter how
I did read something about that. Yeah, and I
think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I remember something about they shut them down. I don't know how Gibson would be able to. I'm sure they could like have a court order, maybe that would shut that stuff
but usually,
down.
There's channels that you go through before.
Does Gibson hire like hackers to go in and shut websites down illegally? I can't. Yeah.
Some of this sounds, frankly, kind of made up.
Okay.
Like that's a really good narrative if you're going to close your business.
Oh, it could be.
We just can't do it. Gibson shut us down.
Well, so what do you think about? We haven't really heard very much from Gibson in the last couple of days about like who they're suing or well, I guess we have. But like, remember there was the whole Dean thing, and there's the I don't know. Are they still doing a lot of that stuff?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think the idea is because they've lost out on cases because they hadn't been pursuing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to win cases in the future, you have to be pursuing that stuff all the time, even if you lose out. So I guess I don't know. It's weird. I don't unless the guitar says Gibson on it. Everybody knows that it's not a Gibson.
Yeah, I don't think that if you're spending the kind of money that you would have to spend to think you're getting a Gibson, but not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in a world where you can buy Gibsons, and they apparently they can't really do anything about those, which seems ridiculous
because it's in a different country.
I guess I don't know, but anyway, just that whole idea. That's who you need to stop, not guys that are making loving tributes to your guitar.
Yeah,
Frankly,
some of the loving tributes are maybe what gives you a little bit of juice in the 2000s.
Yeah,
because as we've talked about so many times, if it weren't for the loving tribute, Dylan would not have a Slash Les Paul right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's true.
So yeah.
So this is the best. Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, the 1980s Appetite for Destruction album was recorded with a 1959 Gibson Les Paul that was built in the 80s as a counterfeit, and very, very excellently done. And that was what it was. I don't know if it was that was the guitar they used, or if they just built Slash another Les Paul and said this is the new hotness. But it's a cool story and kind of funny. I mean,
I don't know what differentiates the Slash model from any of the other Les Pauls other than
it says Slash and has his pickups or something.
Yeah, has whatever pickups that they've deemed the Slash pickup.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think the original one had DiMarzio's.
I think it had Seymour Duncan's, but I don't.
Okay, know. Yeah, it had one of the D names.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you use those as the one true and holy.
Yeah, it was built pickup in the mid '80s, so it was before there was a whole bunch of pickup outfits and
kind of the look of the guitar, the paint, the burst, whatever.
It was very, very like you said just a moment ago, very lovingly done. But I don't know. Yeah. You guys know more about the Slash thing than I do. So anyway, but yeah, let's see what's happening in the. Is there a guitar question? Okay, so the question is, when building a guitar, is there a calculus to build in balance so that you don't have neck dive? Yeah, I'm sure that there is. And anytime that you change something, that's going to change. And anytime that you use a different piece of wood, that's going to change. The where it really is a big deal is on basses. I think that neck dive on a guitar is much ado of nothing. Now I'm not saying that there aren't guitars that the necks don't go funk, but I think it's rarer than people think.
Yeah, I think so. The big one is always the SG, right?
Yeah,
that's the number one culprit of neck dive.
I think so.
And, yeah, if you look at it, it's because the neck sticks way out from the body.
The neck joins the body at about the 22nd fret, and the strap button is behind the horn,
way behind,
and the horn is not very far down the neck. So, but if you we could build an SG that was dimensionally identical to the Gibson one in every way and had no neck dive. And we could build an SG that was dimensionally identical to the Gibson one and had way more neck dive than the Gibson one ever thought about having.
Yeah.
So if you change the density, the mass of the body, all of that stuff can go away. So if you don't mind having an 11-pound SG, you will have no neck dive. In fact, what will probably happen is the neck will go from the playing position. If you let go, it'll go to here.
Yeah.
That's it. It won't like dive and hit the floor. And that's what neck dive actually is in my mind, is if you let go of the neck, the headstock hits the ground, or the headstock goes, gravity pulls the headstock all the way down. Not that it goes some and doesn't go and doesn't stop. But you can mitigate that with all kinds of things.
Yeah. I think part of the thing with neck dive is, let's use the SG again. Your strap buttons are that far apart on a strap. They're that far apart. So when they're this far apart, you're sitting there and you're trying to play the guitar and you want to kind of move it forward a little bit or something like that. And things just start getting wonky with it. I've had that with short guitars before, like those Yamaha SG Samurai guitars. And it's as much a playing thing, like, because you can sit with the guitar on your lap and play it. It feels great. But as soon as you put it on a strap, it's really more related to strap button position and how where it sits in relation to the playing position. And
that particular guitar is so light anyway that I have never experienced. I had one of the SG basses, and it was slightly longer than the SG guitar. And I never experienced any fatigue playing that. Like, oh my God, it's so much of an imposition to make sure the neck doesn't dive to the floor, because I'm rarely doing this, while playing. So anyway, hey, let's take a super chat from our good buddy Doug, who says, I hope you have filed for the Challenger patent. If someone wants to sell quantity of someone else's designs, then they should be sued. Doug, that's kind of it's a tricky thing to get a trademark on a design and that sort of thing. One thing that I can tell you and will tell you is that they can copy me, but they can't copy me. So everybody who's out there, doing their own thing, congratulations. And everyone who's just making, knockoffs of stuff, then maybe you should get your own design too.
I think that would be the highest form of compliment, is to click onto the AliExpress page and there's a Texas Toast Challenger for $138. What
would be even better is if Gibson said, no, this is our design now. And
that's, something that might happen.
I somehow doubt it.
But it's Stranger Things.
I guess so.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Let's see. Doc says neck dive is only an issue if you let go of the neck. I played my Black Limba V for the first time live Tuesday and found the neck dive, but not an issue. So I think that's, as long as you're not doing this, then you'll probably be okay.
And there's ways to fix it. And
Jeffrey Egan says Schillinger.
Big sticky leather strap.
That's a good way to do it. Gunnerman 54 sends us a super chat and says, question here. Can you use a leveling beam to level a compound radius neck 12 to 16? Well, yeah, you absolutely can, and you should.
That's the only way to do it.
There might be some other ways to do it, but yeah, yeah.
Switch.
Yeah. So if you imagine the compound radius neck is actually is more accurately should be referred to as a conical radius neck because it is a section of the outside of a cone. Imagine a traffic cone that goes from, say, whatever it is, 8 inches to 2 inches. It's a section of that. And but if you look at it from the side, it has a straight line in 2D. Thank you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so your leveling beam, your flat, straight, long leveling beam with an abrasive on it is the ideal thing to level and dress frets on a conical or compound radius fretboard. Now this is a tricky thing though, and I would urge you to be very cautious and very conscientious when leveling a conical radius fretboard. Because the difference between the maximum deviation between a 10-inch and a 16-inch radius over the run of a fretboard is 11 thousandths of an inch. You can absolutely, if you have a fret that's not that's not seated all the way, or if you have a bunch, one that's low or one that's high for whatever reason, you can absolutely get that 11 thousandths, all kinds of cattywampus, and lose a lot of your a lot of whatever theoretical advantage you get from having a conical radius fretboard. If you like conical compound radius fretboards, rock on. But be very cautious when leveling because you can kind of make a lot of that stuff go away. I would bet you too that if you had a 12-inch radius board and were really good, you could, through fret leveling alone, get the very same thing that you would get out of a conical radius board. It would be very hard to do, but if the frets were tall enough, I believe you could do it. What's the other thing that's a tricky bit about using conical compound radius fretboards, Chris?
Actually installing the frets.
Yeah, that's absolutely. That's actually better than the one I was going to say.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say a lot of the guys who use those also use Floyd Rose trims.
Yeah. And what's the right answer? So it goes from, let's say 12 at the nut to 16 at the 22nd fret.
By the time you get to the bridge, it's going to be
something different. So what do you set the bridge at? Do you set it at 16? Do you set it at what it's going to be at the end of the scale length?
Yeah.
I mean, the real deal is you set it to what the end of the scale length is.
Yep.
If you want it to be the same, if you want it to follow the trajectory of,
which is probably close to like 21 or 22 inches
from 16 or from 12 to 16. Yeah. Because we did calculations.
It was 10 to and so a lot of guys, we see this a lot. You see guys who take a Floyd, which an R2 has a 10-inch radius locking nut, a 10-inch radius bridge. They 10-inch radius lock nut, 10-inch radius at the first fret, 16-inch radius at the 22nd fret, 10-inch radius at the bridge, thus eliminating any advantage that you had.
How do you change the radius on a Floyd Rose?
It's not as easy as doing it on a Strat.
It goes to 12.
Yeah. I'm sure you can get it flat,
you can get them other ways, but it's it's much ado about nothing. And
Doc wants
low action. It's all about fret leveling and neck. Relief. Or lack thereof.
Absolutely. Doc would like to know, what size fret wire and truss rods are you guys using? So Doc, we are still using the Bitterroot truss rod, the double acting truss rod that we get from John and Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars. And if you use our coupon code, it's TXTOAST at checkout and you get 15% off. If you buy them 10 at a time, I think they're like $7. So if you're planning on using that for your $400 guitar building contest entry, don't buy one that's $13. Buy 10 that are only $7 and then count that as $7, you're going to make 9 other guitars
Eventually.
right? And as far as fret wire, we are using,
and they sell packs of them in those numbers.
yeah, they do.
Yeah. So buy that.
Yeah.
Count it as that, even if you don't.
And the fret wire that we're using, Doc, is the Stumac 141C. It's 0.095 wide, 0.045 tall at the crown. This is the cryogenically treated wire, which I think is super cool stuff. So yeah, and if you use our link, how's that for something cool?
Tagged in the face with a piece of tape right
there.
Oh,
Chris, you know better than that. So yeah, William Nearson wants to know: can you wire a humbucker with a toggle switch to be in and out of phase?
With a toggle switch?
I think that's what he wants to know. Yeah,
you can wire it. Yeah, you can wire it in and out of phase with like a slider switch, not with a standard. Well, yeah, a little mini switch.
A mini switch.
Yeah, mini switch.
That's
or a big
kind
switch
of toggle.
with all those poles with 9 poles on it. Yeah, you could do that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. You should be able to Google it. Just Google it. Or usual? Is it usual or Google?
I don't know.
I think it's usual.
Doc says, what length truss rod? Doc, we're using 17 and a quarter.
I think is what they call that one. Yeah.
Doug says, I'm kind of realizing that the compound radius is just bullshit. You know, it's not that that's it. How about this, Doug? It's more of a theoretical advantage than anything else.
Yeah.
I think now there will be guys who are, no, you're wrong. Cool. I get it. If you like that, then rock on. But the real, when you have a guitar that has a 7 1/4 radius, like the original Fenders did, it is not unheard of to bend a note to the point where it frets out. Okay.
Because you're going uphill.
Yeah.
At a more of an angle.
Now there are no one who played Les Pauls ever said that happened, because those had a 12-inch radius. Okay. So that was flat enough to not be an issue. If you have a flat fretboard, a classical fretboard, you will never experience fret out from bending. What Warmoth did in the 80s, I think, was they came up with this conical or way to do, and they probably weren't the first guys to do it, but they were the first guys I heard of.
Uh-huh.
And the notion was, it's great for chords, but you won't fret out at the end. Okay, yeah, but why not just make it all 16?
Yeah,
or all
that's
12.
The thing. Yeah. And one of the other funny things is, okay, so it's what are we dealing with? Are we still talking 12 to 16?
10 to 16.
10 to 16?
Yep.
What's it in the middle?
Yeah, it's in between there, depending on where you are.
14 or it's 13, 12 and some change.
Yeah.
You can't tell a difference there.
No, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can tell a difference the other end either. But it's
now,
not,
hold on. Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
It's like, yeah.
Do you hear all the typing? I can totally tell the difference. Okay.
It's like horsepower in your car. Oh yeah, 477 horsepower. Not at 1500 RPMs driving around town. That's the maximum.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's what is it there? 108. Okay.
So yeah. So how about this? Guys, if you are into conical or compound radius fretboards, rock on, enjoy. Mm-hmm. If you need to level the frets, yes, I would advise that you use a beam. If you
then go slow.
Yeah. If you don't like them, rock on. If you want to level the frets on your non-conical radius fretboard, I would advise you use a beam and go slow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's take a super chat from Dylan, who says, Chris, what radius is your hand? Oh, we were talking about this very thing.
Yeah, I sent Dylan a picture because I finally figured out why I can't play guitar that good.
Show everyone what. Yeah, I know, right?
Look, can you see? What the hell is this finger all doing?
Uh-huh.
That's too much radius. This one, that's all flat. This is too much radius. This might be right.
Yeah.
I should just play with these 2 fingers.
You should.
Yeah, maybe just.
Yeah. Hey, you live how you want to live.
Yeah. I haven't measured them. But I can tell you that my fingers are all different radiuses, and that's why I can't grip like this.
You are dexterous enough to do that.
Like this? No, I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Watch.
I know you can't do it.
Can't do it. I'll
What's
try
the old
again.
joke?
Yeah, hurts when I do this.
No, I can't raise
Oh.
my arm above here. I used
Yeah,
to be
I
able to do
raise
here,
it all
but
the
yeah,
way up here, but you can't raise it anymore. Yeah, it's the same joke.
it's really too bad that you don't have hands like a 3-year-old Korean girl, because then you'd be able to play the guitar.
I would be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word! I love,
Yeah.
I love. Okay, Brian says that that's the ultimate in guitar nerdery. It's right up there, Brian. And you know
The
what? I
radius
love
of
it.
my fingers.
No, the radius of a fretboard. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't think that there's any sonic difference between. So, for example, if you had a Strat that had a 10-inch radius, you would be hard pressed to convince me that there is some sort of sonic variation by having a curved fretboard.
Yeah, that's a new one.
That I've never heard that. Although
Let's start it.
No, that's a great. What sort of? I like the smoothness of it.
Well, yeah, that could be a Fender is one of the worst at committing those kinds of things. Like making things out of things that aren't things.
I love making things out of things that aren't things.
So yeah. This guitar features are 7 1/4 radius for vintage tone and creaminess.
If you like a kind of a milky crispness, then it has that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Your notes will sing out with vintage clarity and a smooth woodiness.
Smooth woodiness. Yes. That's what you get when you have that radius.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Or that's what you get when you go to Ruth Chris and have the chocolate lava cake.
One of my favorite new things is reading descriptions of pickups that are faithful reproductions of original pickups, wound just a little bit hotter. Then it's not a faithful reproduction, is it? Yeah. Because nobody wants a pickup that reads 4.2K.
No.
That pickup's going to suck.
Paul says you could call that profile the tone cone. Oh, Paul. Now that is terrific. Oh, man. It's if you want that funkiness, then you got to have a little more of a curvy neck. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I remember one of the first projects that we did, we put a new fretboard on a neck, and we did it burp all by hand. And you didn't have a 7 1/4 radius. That was the original radius on this thing that I had.
Yeah.
And we started sanding it. I don't even think you had a 10. You had a 12. And so we made it 12. And I was a little bit bummed out, and I was a little bit concerned that was going to be a problem for me.
Yeah. As it turns out, it was.
Well, no, it wasn't. And that was the funny thing is I put it all together. I was all jazzed and stoked about how good this project turned out. And I sort of forgot that it had a 12-inch radius.
Yeah.
And I was a strictly 7 1/4 guy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a thing at all. And I just started thinking, this is all just dumb.
I'm not sure who Cannonballs is, but he really likes us. Yeah, I think he's really into us.
Good.
So anyway, okay. So what have we decided then? That
that wood descriptors or guitar descriptors are fun.
Are really fun. Yeah.
Yep. Spanky, woody goodness.
Spanky porkiness. Did you have a David Crosby story?
No, I don't. Have a
I don't believe he.
story.
I don't believe he has one.
Is it confirmed that he's passed?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bummer. I guess we've been
Yeah.
A lot of music legends are going. Well, it's what you get old. So
Yep. Yeah, he had a nice mustache.
Oh, okay.
That's the word on the street.
I don't know.
From what I understand, I don't know. I don't know how somebody can be a complete jerk all the time. I understand people can be rude and surly sometimes, but
I try to be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I sit here next to you. No, but you hear, oh man, he's a piece of work, blah blah blah. Well, not to everybody. or else he'd be living in a cave.
Sure, I'm sure
Somebody would have
that
killed him by now.
he was mostly cool to
Mostly, probably, yeah.
Stephen Stills
Yeah, maybe.
or
Yeah.
Graham Nash.
Uh-huh.
Hey, have you guys seen Heavy Metal Parking Lot, the documentary? Oh my gosh. It's such a good, check it out. It's on what is it? Hulu or Tubi? I mean, of course you can find it on YouTube too, but it's 17 minutes of your life that you'll never get back and you won't be disappointed. I of course,
especially if you lived through that period.
That's right, especially if you are 40 years or older. Now, I have seen it. I was actually thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was remembering some of the hilarious lines that are said in Heavy Metal Parking Lot. It's they're in the parking lot, and a bunch of people are in 1986, and people are going to go to see Judas Priest.
So they're pre-gaming for the Judas Priest.
Oh yeah, and they're totally pre-gaming. Yeah,
they may have pre-gamed.
They may have.
Yeah, to make the scene at the pregame.
And I think the first time I saw it had to have been 10 or 15 years ago, the first time I saw it. And I watched it again, and oh my God. If you haven't seen it for a while, watch it again for the first time. And I will guarantee you will laugh in like for at least the first couple minutes. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I know that dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's my mom. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that was me.
That was me. And I guess I think they were in like Maryland, and nobody had a shirt on. Well, no dudes did. It was really hot. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys are doing tonight, but after Dylan talks tone and his 1 hour or more podcast, Primetime Guitar Live thing, check out Heavy Metal Parking Lot. You will not be you can thank me later. Okie dokie. Okay, so well, I'm not 100% sure where we are going here, but Chris, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up tomorrow, and then let's thank our sponsors, and let's give Dylan the floor.
Okay, what is coming up tomorrow?
Well, we've got a reveal, and we've got what do we got? We got a Super Casanova. We got a couple of Sunday drivers. We got a Challenger X. What else we got? There might be some other stuff, and and tomorrow's a long day, so we might have some more stuff then.
Some more stuff finished up probably too.
Okay.
So I'd like to get that red one done.
The red one? Which red one?
The red deluxe.
The red deluxe junior. Oh, isn't that one done?
No.
Oh, the Challenger Deluxe red one. Yes. Okay, very cool. So we've got a big reveal tomorrow, multi-part reveal. And we've got Sunday, we've got a video where we're using the Spin Twist Spray Right paint rig, thanks to our buddy Bill Hendricks. He says no relation. And it works really good. And I'm looking forward to showing you guys how neat it is.
Even if we did forget the skirt.
It's kind of a video in a video because it's kind of how this rig works and how to do a sunburst the way you do it.
Sure.
Okay. But yeah, so I would like to thank all of our sponsors who make our Thursday and Friday live streams possible. I'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Stuart McDonald. Like I said, guys, if you have anything in your Stumac cart, let's give them a show of force and click checkout and go through our affiliate link deal and see how many people. Let them know that you guys are out there too, and we know you. I think that's fun. That would give me a big shot in the arm. Your old Uncle Matt would think that was fun. I would also like to thank Ike and the gang over at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. If you tune in, they're doing some really cool stuff on Thursdays now, and they're actually testing out gear live, which is fraught with peril because getting it to work right with the bandwidth that you have most of the time is tricky. So they're having to use a bunch of different interfaces, and getting it right is not always easy. So go over to Ike's, show those dudes some love, and tell them that Matt and Chris from Texas Toast sent you over. One thing that's happening tomorrow that I'm bummed out about, though, Chris, is it's Brandon's last day. Brandon has got himself a real job. He fooled around and got himself a real job. And he is going to come in tomorrow, and I think we're going to go to lunch. We're going to go to the Players Club. No, we're not doing that. And but it is great to have. He's still going to come around on weekends and stuff.
Okay.
He's still got his guitar he wants to finish up, and he's going to help us out with some. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and Brandon it was great to have Brandon here as long as we did. And you guys who met Brandon know exactly what I'm talking about. Very cool young man who is at a remarkable time in his life, starting a brand new chapter. And I am really glad that I'm, a part of his life now. So yeah, I feel very good about that. So congratulations to Brandon and his new gig.
I'm really glad he took my advice.
Which was?
Get a job.
Hey, didn't you tell him to get a haircut too?
No.
His mom told him to get a haircut.
People in the past to do that. Yeah. And that usually goes over like a lead balloon.
Like a BLT at a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would also like to thank Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone. He's coming up next. I want you guys to check out his podcast. I know you guys already know about it, but if you don't, check it out. He's going to answer all your questions about, he's going to bust some myths and grind up some White Castle slabs out of sacred cows of the guitar world. And you can be part of it. And if you want to check out Dylan's pickups, you want to get a set for your very own, you can use the link in the description below and save yourself some money by doing that. And we get a little taste too. I'd also like to thank Steve at Maximum Guitar Works. Steve is up to some very cool stuff. And we're going to bring you guys up to speed on a lot of that coming up very, very soon. But Maximum Guitar Works makes all of our templates and helps us out with a lot of the things that we do in our workshops, including the $9,000 Stratocaster workshop, which is sold out for August. Should we add another one?
We might, yeah.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think if we added another $9,000 Strat workshop in October? Just throwing it out there. The one in August is all the way full, and a couple people have asked if they could be on the list.
Yes.
If anyone cashes out, yeah. Let's take a super chat from Doc, who says, "Take Brandon for lunch." Oh, God bless you, Doc. That's very, very kind of you. So we absolutely should take Brandon to lunch, and we're going to take Brandon to lunch on Doc.
There you go.
Thank you very much, Doc. That's very, very cool of you. Brad Guitar Miller says, "Congratulations on the new sponsor. Just picked up the Z file. What a great tool. Chris, my hand radius is horrible too." Maybe we'll put Joy in the car tomorrow too. We'll all go to lunch and we'll all go to the Players Club. No, we're not doing that. Speaking of Brad Guitar Miller, if you guys want to go check out Pedal to the Metal Guitars, he's a sponsor of ours. And Dylan and Steve and Brad Guitar Miller from Pedal to the Metal Guitars are all backing our $400 guitar building contest. If you guys want to get involved in that, check out the links on our website. You can sign up. It's a brand new. We didn't talk about it at all tonight.
Nope. We'll talk about it.
Let's talk about tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's talk about tomorrow. $400 guitar build coming at you tomorrow with a mega huge reveal. Mega huge. I'd also like to thank Nigel Forstner from Forstner Guitars in Queensland, Australia. If you guys want a good read about how it is to make money in the woodworking business, Cannonball, if you're watching, you might want to catch a copy of that too. It sounds like you're a professional woodworker, so yeah, you might want to get a copy of that. Doug sent it. Oh, Brandon's going to get a nice lunch tomorrow. Thank you so much, Doug. That's very, very kind of you.
We might go to the Players Club.
Might have to go to the. We got to spend $150.
Got leftovers.
Okay. Well, I'd also like to thank our buddies at Odyssey Beer Works, the Great American Beer Works. I think pretty soon this show is going to be nothing but sponsors. I'm probably going to miss a couple. I already talked about John and Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars, and I'm going to talk about them again. Bitterroot Guitars is some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and if you use our code TXTOAST at checkout, you get 15% off. And speaking of some of the coolest dudes around, Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts. We've been bending some sides lately, and with the mahogany that we got from Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts. Guys, if you are looking for a good deal for woods to use at the $400 guitar building contest, check out those dudes. They will hook you up. I got hooked up with acoustic woods from them, like the whole bundle for like $85 for neck, fretboard, bridge blank, sides and back. So yeah, it was not like the most awesome, amazing wood in the world, but it was good stuff.
Which is good because we wrecked a couple pieces.
It's what happens, you know.
Yeah, learning curve.
Yeah. Wow. This, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Craig, I really like Bitterroot too. Given Two says, congrats, Brandon. It was good to meet you. Thank you very much, sir. So let's go ahead and call it a night, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow for the reveal. And hey, look, Brandon's here already. Hey, Brandon, we'll see you tomorrow. Lunch is on Doc and Doug. Figure out where you want to go. Okay, gang, we will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening and take care, everybody.